Welcome, and today we are playing You Kill Me Every Time Strade by Kato Bob, and I'm super excited to play this with you guys. I have a plushie for emotional support because we know that this game can be game series are very intense, so again, if you're uncomfortable with very strong topics, please click off this video and we're gonna get started. I'm gonna click new game. Emotional support plushie. What's your name? Okay, my name, that is not how you spell my name, but my name's Alice. We are absolutely not. Alright. The torrential downpour seemed to come out of nowhere. It wasn't even cloudy when I left. I stood under an awning and watched the wall of gray solidify with a sigh. My attention was coaxed to a warm yellow light coming from behind me. Some kind of pub? I'd never seen it before, yet somehow it felt nostalgic. I gave up on the idea of getting home soon and opened the door. Oh, okay. You can right-click the save or load buttons to instantly create or load a quick save. So that's cool. Let's save it. The art is so pretty. The sound of relaxed chatting and clinking glasses drew me in. I sat down at a small table and breathed in the scent of cheap liquor and damp wood. Stranger. Well, I've never seen you before. It's straight. You can take a screenshot and save it to your photo gallery using the camera button. Click! It just snapped the picture. Okay. My attention snapped up to a man sitting at my table across from me. Are you waiting for someone? Should we flirt? I think so. Yeah, I think I was waiting for you. Oh, you're so charming. I got a bit ahead of myself. My name is Strade. What about you? Here in the situation is, how would I act? I always love playing gameplays. Well, I love playing games. And then being like, how would I act? Well, how would my fate be? My fate be in these type of games. So I'd be like, I'm Alice. It's nice to meet you. I'm glad you came here. I was just thinking to myself how I wanted someone to talk to. I noticed that he had a light European accent of some kind. I cannot do a German accent, so please do not come. Don't fight me, guys, okay? Please, let me get you a beer. He shifted in his chair, seeming as if he wasn't going to wait for an answer. What should I say? No thanks, or... Really? Thanks. He grinned as he got up. I don't trust him at all. You see that grin? That small grin says a bunch. Like, no. I watched as he sauntered towards the bar. I let out a short sigh and took a look back at the windows. Still raining. Maybe even worse than before. My mind wandered. What am I doing here? Suddenly, Strade was back. He set 2 drinks on the table as he sat down. This is my favorite bar. It's a good place for conversation, don't you think? I looked around at the patrons, nearly all sipping beverages. He was right, everyone was talking. Among the murmurs, a few excited exclamations about the weather. I took a sip of my beer, and he did the same. Since I've never seen you in here before, I assume you weren't on your way to the bar. Did you come from work? Let's see. was heading back from the university, actually. University, eh? You must be tired after a day of studying. Then the rain catches you. Okay, sorry. Then the rain catches you. That's a bit unlucky. Well, hopefully the rain clears up soon. Sorry, guys. Although in the meantime, I'd love to hear a little more, sorry. I relaxed into my seat and began chatting with him. It seemed so easy to talk about myself. He's totally slipped something in my drink. I just know it. Yeah, he seems too happy about it. Just like, I hardly noticed my beer rapidly disappearing. I told him about my day while he listened, fully invested. And then, well, I ended up here. So you have. I suppose your bad luck is my good luck. Yeah, I wonder why, Strade. I wonder what you're gonna do to me. You've been fascinating so far. He chuckled, seemingly totally pleased with the situation. Hey, let me get you another drink. Yeah, I'm gonna flirt. Are you trying to get me drunk? Well, I admit, I'd love to keep chatting. If it costs me a few beers, then I will happily pay. He left again, swiftly coming back with a drink. He slid it over to me and took another sip of his own. He leaned back for a moment, looking behind me with a whistle. Rain still coming down like crazy. I suppose I haven't told you anything about myself yet. He stopped to consider for a moment. Well, these days, when I'm not hanging around here, I'm usually working on the odd project. I started studying engineering in Europe, then moved here. I went to university, a few provinces away to continue with that. But mortgages are cheaper here, huh? I raised my eyebrow. Engineering? Yeah, I really love that. I design and build machines. The puzzle of making them more efficient, more reliable. It's really quite addictive. And I suppose I'm lucky too. I managed to secure a few patents that are still paying royalties. More income means more beers for my new friend. He's so charming, I give you that. He let out a deep laugh. He really seems to be enjoying himself. He went on to gleefully explain a few engineering concepts. Despite the fact that a lot of concepts went over my head, his excitement in explaining them was infectious. I looked down at my empty beer. Have we really been chatting so long? Let me freshen you up. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. There's so much. He left and returned with another glistening mug. I could still hear the rain hammering at the roof of the building, but it didn't bother me like before. I gulped my drink. This really isn't so bad. The time seemed to slip by. An hour passed in a blink as Strade kept bringing me new drinks whenever I ran dry. I found myself listening to him and talking about myself with a sense of ease. Whenever I cracked a joke, he laughed heartily. As he kept chatting away happily, I leaned in. There was something attractive about him. I ain't lying. I let myself lose track of time. Drowsiness softened my thoughts. I slumped back into my chair. You're starting to look a bit tired, buddy. I yawned in reply. It's this bar. It's making me feel sleepy. You're right. And I guess we've been at it for quite a while. He looked over my shoulder and clinked his tongue in disapproval. The rain hasn't slowed down a bit. I look behind me to see a wall of water past the window myself. I guess we'll just have to get you home anyway. Oh yeah, it's getting late. As I stood up, the blood seemed to rush out of my head. Oh no, that's bad. I steadied myself on the table. Had a bit too much to drink? He laughed warmly. You certainly can't leave like that. Don't worry, I can drive. I squinted at the table. He barely touched his beer. The bar is much quieter now. I really lost track of time. We walked past the last few patrons and pushed through the door. As it shut behind us, the soothing sound of the bar was abruptly silenced, and we were left alone in the dark with the roaring rain. Aw, he looks so cute. What, guys? I'm here for Bren, but still. I parked just over here. His arm wrapped around my shoulders with a smile that seemed to know exactly how attractive I found him. Before I could protest, I was pushed into the sheet of falling water. The sudden splash of cold water in my face wasn't enough to sober me up. I stumbled and his grip tightened. His firm embrace was the only thing keeping me upright as we walked forward. I cursed myself for drinking so much. This is a little embarrassing. Which way are we going? It was hard to see in the dark. Oh my gosh! Suddenly, a brick wall emerged from the murk and slammed into my face. I'm scared. This is not even a plushie. Strade's weight followed and ground me against the rough surface. Whoa, aren't we moving a little fast? I could feel his laugh shake my body in reply. I can't help myself. He shuffled for a moment, then wrenched my wrists together behind me. Oh my gosh! Guys, this is insane. The sound of a zip tie closing sent a deep chill down my spine. I tried to pull my wrist away from his grip, but another tie tightened around them. Come on, relax. His hand slid over my mouth. It's time, oh my gosh. It's time for you to come home. I'm struggling to get free. Like, what do you think I'm doing? I twisted my body and threw all my weight to the side in an effort to escape. To my surprise, he let me go, only to allow me to fall to my knees and lose balance, falling further onto my face. With my wrist tied behind my back, I couldn't get up. I twisted again, desperate to get some purchase on the wet concrete. He yanked me back up by my wrist. My goodness. A thick piece of fabric was pulled around my mouth, tightened and tied quickly behind my head. Then another blindfold. I tried to quell a sense of rising panic. He gripped my shoulder again and started pushing me along. I can't see. I can't scream. My mind raced, hoping that someone would see what was happening. But the pounding rain on my head washed that thought away. Of course, everyone is inside. I stumbled forward, blind and completely helpless, until we finally stopped, maybe just half a block away. A beep and a click. No. I was pushed forward until I fell over the bumper of a car. Come on now. Another shove in the lift, and I was inside what I was sure was a trunk. See you at home, buddy. Oh my goodness. The truck slammed shut. Some insane part of my mind felt like it was worth focusing on being warm and out of the rain. The sound of the engine brought me back to reality. I tried to kick at the trunk, but nothing gave at all. My feet hurt. My head hurts. I squeezed my eyes shut and tried to stay calm as I was rocked back and forth by the car's movements. I couldn't tell if it was my panic playing with my sense of time or not, but the drive seemed to take forever. Eventually, I heard the pop of the driver's door opening. My heart started hammering again. A click and whoosh of air told me the trunk was open. We've been kidnapped, guys. Ah, look at you. You are so cute like that. I tried to protest, but the fabric gag muffled anything I could possibly say. Hands clapped around my shoulder and pulled me out of the trunk. I wobbled, trying to stand. He steadied me. Come on, just a bit further. He sounded excited, like I was blindfolded because he was going to surprise me with a gift. He guided me firmly across the floor. It was warm, quiet, no rain. This must be a garage. I felt myself pushed through the threshold of a door. Okay, be careful here. These are stairs down. I pushed a toe forward until the ground disappeared. Fear pulsed through me. Would he lie? What if it just drops? He forced me forward until I had to find the next stair to steady myself. My half-whimper, half-sigh relief was muffled by the gag. I continued my forced march down the stairs as I considered my position. If it was a garage, this must be the basement. I lurched forward. There was no next step. I'd reached the bottom. He pushed me further, just a few steps, and then he stopped. Is this it? Is he going to kill me now? He clicked his tongue. You're soaked. He was right. I was shivering. Just a second. I don't know what he expected me to do other than wait. I can't even see. Dang, I'm kinda... I focused on the sound of a drawer being rifled through. Then I froze as a sharp point pressed lightly under my chin. It squeezed me. This is a knife. Well, no, duh, Strade. Of course it's a knife. I'm going to cut your clothes off. Okay. You freak. Get away from him. Yeah, go away, Strade. I instinctively lurched backwards from the point. My head collided dully with something behind me. I tried to step back, but couldn't. There was some kind of pull behind me. Stay still, planning to hurt you yet. Oh my goodness. I'm just getting those wet clothes off of you. Okay. The word yet was echoing in my head as I heard a swift rip of fabric. That's what I was... Of course. Yet. It's... Sorry, guys. I gasped involuntarily as my wet clothing was peeled off away from me. Soon I was standing there, nothing but my underwear. My arms were bound. I couldn't even cover myself. No need to be shy here. By the time we're done, we won't be worried about that at all. I wanted to argue, but two heavy hands gripping my shoulders cut off my train of thought. Sit. They pushed me down with a command. I shall resist. My goodness. I shoved back against him and screamed into my gag. Ha! His hand suddenly pushed hard, sending me to the floor in a heap. My arms rubbed up against the metal pole. Just relax. His voice was coming from behind me now. Ugh! That's creepy! The zip ties holding my wrists together were sliced away. Before I could comprehend my freedom, I was frozen by the characteristic rib of duct tape. My arms were pulled tight behind me and bound around the pole. The cloth in my mouth was pulled away. Jump scare warning? Not joking. Then the blindfold was finally lifted from my face. Comfy? Comfy? Is that a trick question? No, I'm not comfy. You shoved me in a trunk. You. Anyway, he just ignored it. He just totally ignored it because that's how he is. Now you're dry, so you won't freeze. I want you to be Waisakman. I think that means, how do you call it? So he said, I want you to be, what do you say? Vigilant? Properly awake tomorrow. Tomorrow? What do you mean, tomorrow? I admit, I'm very excited to get started, but it's a bit late and I want to be properly awake too. So, get some sleep. He turned towards the stairs. Wait! Are you going to kill me? He seemed to consider the question. Yes, I think so. My blood seemed to run cold. You what? Try not to worry. It's better if you get some rest. How the hell am I supposed to not worry? I watched him bound up the stairs, whistling happily. You suck. The heavy sound of the door closing seemed to jumpstart my panic. He's really just leaving me down here. I twisted my wrist and pulled at the bindings. I can't. I try to calm down. I start examining the space around me. The basement seems nicer compared to the first game. Still scary. I started examining the space around me. Seems like a mostly regular basement. Although a few tools sent a shiver up my spine. Muffled talking caught my attention. Huh? It was him. I could tell, but who is he talking to? He's talking to my baby girl, you know? I could hardly hear, but it sounded like another man. My baby girl. I want to see what happens if I scream at the other voice. Hey! Help me! He's crazy! He's gonna kill me! Please! The voices stopped for a moment. They heard me. They started talking again. My goodness. My hope died as quickly as it arrived, whoever he's talking to. I don't think they're going to help me. There's no point in fighting anymore. If I sleep, maybe I'll have enough energy to try and escape tomorrow. I might make a mistake and I'll need to react fast. I have to. The fear finally started giving away to exhaustion. I slowly drifted into a restless sleep. Something was nudging me. I'm scared. I'm so scared. Oh. Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord. Hey. Are you awake yet? My memory flooded back to me, bringing fresh panic in its wake. You are very cute when you're asleep, you know. I thought coming down the stairs would wake you up. No, this can't be real. Say, you might have slept better than me, actually. I was so excited to play with you, I couldn't rest. But now we can finally get started. He held up a gleaming knife. I thought about all the things I could do. There's our stats. My mental health is not good. I'm scared. But I think let's start simple. He moved close to me. I instinctively shuffled, trying in vain to get away from him. A hand cupped my face. He's very attractive. I can't lie about that. His face is very nice to look at. Where should we start? Your legs look soft. I couldn't think. I just stared at the knife as he lowered it to expose my skin. To my exposed skin. Sorry, I'm nervous. He gripped on my face. The grip on my face tightened. Don't worry. I'll make sure to go slow. That's even worse! He dragged the blade across my skin, slowly as he promised. What the meesh? You're so spirited. He shifted his weight, seeming to renew his excitement. His hands finally left my face as he steadied himself. His smile got bigger. He moved the knife edge against my skin next to the original cut. Struggling. I tried to jerk my leg out of the way, but only caused the edge to cut much deeper. My blood clung to the edge of the knife in his shaking hand. I glanced back at him and realized he was still watching me. Had he looked down at all? I cried out as a deep gash was slashed into my leg. I knew it. I knew you would be good, I could tell. His free hand slid over my thigh, roughly teasing my fresh open wounds. Ah! It's like emotionally support. Show me more. He positioned the tip of the knife to the point straight down into my thigh. Am I that desperate? He pressed the point into my leg just a little, then stopped. Really? Why did I make it sound British? Really? I don't even know anymore. Of course. He took a moment to think. If I give you this knife, will you cut yourself for me? I can't do that. Don't worry, I won't make you. I didn't have time to react. Oh my gosh! I screamed as he plunged the blade deep into my leg. I slumped over my mangled lap. My heart was pounding, spilling my blood out onto the stained floor. Another rhythm crept into my consciousness. He was panting. Is he like some fluffing dog? Some meeshing dog? My goodness! His fingers moved toward the hilt of the knife still lodged in my body. That's too deep, isn't it? You think? I went too far. I knew I would go too far. His other hand tightened around the grip. Oh my gosh! I screamed as he jerked the knife, twisting it slightly. Ah. It's too much. I know. What the hell is he talking about? The agony in my leg consumed me. His confusing self-argument was more than I could process. He started to pull the knife out of me. I groaned as the serrated edges of the knife tore at my mutilated flesh. I tried to breathe slowly to adjust to the pain. He kept pulling the knife out slowly, agonizingly. Oh my gosh! He matched his breathing to mine, his breaths growing deeper as well. It's scary. Finally, the tip of the knife emerged from the bloody pool. He breathed out a sigh as if it had come out of his own leg. He remained frozen, worried that any sound or motions would get him going again. Eventually, his breathing relaxed. You're bleeding a lot. Of course I am! His fingers hovered over the wound he created. Too much. His hands balled into a fist withdrawn in chastity rather than violence. He let a breath and stood up. My body finally released a fraction of the tension it was holding. Do you want me to stitch you up? please? You know it will hurt, don't you? But you know you need to stop bleeding too. You're a tough one, survivor. Wow. Well, let's fix you up then. He turned to gather medical kit and bottle from the cabinets behind him. That's not what I'm staring at right now. It's not what I'm staring at. He sat down and placed the objects on the ground. This art is very delicious. I want to eat this art so badly. As I picked through it, I was a bit surprised to see how clean everything looked. But individually wrapped sterile supplies looked so out of place in his bloody fingers. He tore a tiny packet and pulled out a curved needle. Anxious energy flowed through me like a wave. Why is he moving so slowly? I tore my gaze away from the needle and found the answer. He was staring at me. That's scary! Ew, look away, please. You're sweating. I'm pretty sure I am. I'm pretty sure. I instinctively examined him in return. So are you. Oh, it's cute. His smile, not him. Well, the way he's acting, he's too charming for his own good. He lowered the needle to my torn up thighs. I twitched reflexively, anticipating pain. He lowered his knee over mine and held down my other leg firmly. He brushed the needle over the largest gaping wound. I twitched again, but his body kept mine, restrained. He clicked his tongue appreciatively. Like that? Okay. This will hurt. Of course it will. Before I could react, the needle shot through my ruined skin. My gasp of surprise devolved into a groan of pain. It's better to be in pain than rather bleeding to death. Plus, I want to see Ren. He pushed the needle through the other side of the wound, eliciting a fresh cry. His concentration didn't waver. He kept moving the needle. In. I squirmed. Out. I screamed. He was moving faster. I couldn't keep track anymore. Why? He pulled the strings smoothly and tied them with mechanical precision. Why is he moving so quickly? Is this mercy? Through waves of pain, I tried to concentrate on his face. No, it's not mercy. This is obsession. He can't stop. I didn't think he could even slow down. Ouch! I tried to relax as he finished. Eventually, he paused, scanning my leg. Oh. Oh. Ouch. I finally lowered my gaze and held in a gasp. They're perfect. The length of the cut strings, the distance between stitches. I'm hungry! Something about the unwavering uniformity made me uneasy. He was panting and sweating. Me too! Well, sweating. What do you think, mein Liebchen? My darling. Being honest here, they're perfect. He needs to know that. He looks cute with that lip. He let out a genuine laugh. I wasn't sure if he picked up my incredulous tone. Well, I had an inspiring canvas. Anyway, we still have one more thing to do. Okay. Scared about that. I balked at the idea of any more torture. I need to clean you up. I let out a small sigh of relief. It would be no good if you got infected. I looked down at my freshly stitched bloody thighs. You guys know what's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Sigh of relief? Not a sigh of relief no more in a second. I looked down at my freshly stitched bloody thighs. The angry blush of bruising was already spreading out from the wounds. He opened another packet from his medical kit. It had a wipe inside. This will sting a bit. This is different! This is different! Oh, okay. I sucked in a breath, prepared for the worst. Yet he moved fairly gently. He rubbed the wipe over my leg, carefully cleaning the blood. He's just doing this because he wants us, the fresh meat, to be good. Just say no. I want you to be safe situation. He wants his produce nice. It did sting a bit near the cuts, but certainly not as bad as anything as I just endured. I gasped as his hands dipped between my thighs. There's blood here too. He seemed to enjoy my reaction. I tried not to... Guys! I tried not to think too hard about it. There. Mostly clean. Mostly. He grabbed the bottle beside the kit. This will sting a lot. He opened the bottle and immediately poured it over my injuries. I told you. I was like, this is strange for Strade. He can't... There's the bottle. I called it. Because of course it happens. I screamed at the instant, intense burning. I thought it was acid at first, but thankfully the pain began to subside quickly. Alcohol. Should be nice and clean now. I felt my body slumping forward, pulling at the bonds on my wrists. Could hardly feel them. Feeling a bit worn out. Now that the pain was starting to dull, my head was starting to feel heavy. I couldn't think of a response, but it didn't seem like he was expecting one. He cupped my face in his hand. Lean into it. We should definitely keep watch. Like, try not to get the love meter up, because last game, if he loved you too much, that did not end up well. But I know there's a bunch of changes to this new game, but I'm still very, very, very cautious on my choices and stuff. So far, I have been surviving. I'm surviving. Yay. His hand was rough but warm. A simple touch, a gentle pressure? A simple touch, a gentle gesture. Okay. I was starving for comfort, and I wasn't about to be picky. I can see why you might be tired after all that. I was a little bit, extreme. But you're very exciting. Buzzing pain was distracting me. What the hell is he talking about? I'm so glad I brought you home. I feel like I'm getting to know you very well. And as much as I want to push you to the edge, I want to make this last. So I let you rest. We'll have time for all that later. He stood up straight and emotionally. Don't leave me. Let me go. Wait, I still have questions. Don't leave me? Oh? Are you scared to be lonely? I shrank back into the pool. I couldn't stop my outburst, and I barely understood it. Don't worry, Alice. Just rest and I'll be back to play with you again. I promise. Don't play with me again. Please don't. Please don't. He finally turned to walk away as I wallowed in pain and embarrassment. The stairs creaked as he thumped casually up to the door. With a heavy thud, I knew I was alone again. I let out a sigh. For a while, I could hear footsteps, but eventually only silence remained with me. The pain in my legs was a dull throb. I tried to consider my options. Ooh, we get to see the basement. We should probably eat something. It's Ren. Oh, he's so cute. What was that? Stay quiet. I clamped my stunned mouth shut. Whatever that was, it can't be good. I shook my head, trying to remember what I saw. Couldn't have been him. Was it a person, or... I let out an exasperated breath. I should just forget about it. I have enough to worry about. Suddenly, one of my hands popped out of the tape. I froze, not quite believing I was free. Whoa! I clamped a newly freed hand over my mouth. I am so nervous! It worked? My heart started racing. What do I do now? I didn't think I'd get this far. I leaned against the pole and shakily got to my feet, wincing as my stitches protested. I looked around and found a mini fridge. Popped it open and found a single cheap beer and a roast beef sandwich in a plastic bag. Of course it would be beer. I guess I can't be that picky though. Just the sight of food made my stomach rumble viciously. Fear might have been masking it before, but I was starving. I grabbed the sandwich and tore the package open. I stuffed it into my mouth and practically moaned into it. My ravenous hunger drove me to take huge bites. After nearly choking, I pulled out the beer and cracked it open before immediately chugging it. Relief washed over me as the liquid helped the sandwich go down. I didn't care about the taste. I was far too hungry and thirsty. I finished every bit of the sandwich and every drop of the beer. I took a moment just to bask in the sensation of fullness after so long. Yes, I needed to be free. I was like, should I risk it? Should I risk it? But no, I needed to have a meal because there's no way I'm going to the next day and absolutely just dying. I would die. I placed the bag and empty can back in the fridge where I found them. Then I closed the fridge inside. That's a lot better. No. Is there anything? There's a drawer. Another drawer. Let's rest. I returned to the pole and leaned against it with a sigh. Because definitely would not go to the stairs. I'd definitely die. I've done all I can. Now I need some rest. I slid down until I was in my original position. I considered the discarded duct tape on the floor. I better put this back over my wrist. A plan started to form in my mind. It's loose enough now. I should be able to get out if I need to. I pulled the loose tape back over my wrist and sat looking exactly how he left me. Then finally I let my head droop. Sleep time! And I blinked and strained to see in the darkness. Slowly I began to make out a shape. It moved with me. Who am I? I furiously reached out and touched the moving shape. My fingers met soft, familiar flesh. Oh, it's me. It's me. It was my skin. I could feel it. I could tell by the electricity inside it. That's me. I moved and my reflection moved with me. Are you sure? My fingertips halted, gently pressed against my own. I tried to focus on the details. What do I look like? What am I supposed to look like? Who is this? It's me. Filled with sudden revulsion, I pulled back, but I did not. I reached for my throat as I stumbled backwards. I love you so much. What? Are we on drugs? Something was shaking me. Did that sandwich contain something? Good morning, mein Liebchen. Or should I say, good noon. You were sleeping very deeply. My nervous system was awake, but my brain was still catching up. The dull throb in my legs made itself known against my will. I wanted to let you rest, but I can't wait any longer. We have so much to do. I knew I wasn't going to like where this was going, but somehow, I was surprisingly glad for the company. But first, a couple things. You don't mind if I film, do you? I hate this! Oh my gosh. Why even ask me? You're just going to do whatever you want anyways. He laughed in response. I am. I just wanted to know what you think. It seems like you're ready to. Let me do what I want. That's good. Don't worry, you won't even notice it. I looked around trying to find a camera. See? I couldn't find it. I sighed and let it go. I'm sure the camera is the least of my problems. He suddenly pulled something from his pocket, causing me to flinch slightly. I also have something for you. A granola bar? I realized I've been forgetting to feed you. I can't have you passing out from hunger, of all reasons. You need your energy. He unwrapped the bar and held it up to my face. Eat the bar quickly. I immediately went for the bar and took a huge bite. I didn't care how I looked anymore. I was hungry. I barely chewed the first bite before going in for another. Half expected him to tear the bar away to trick me somehow, but he held it steady as I ravenously wolfed it down. Hungry, eh? I answered his question by yanking a chunk of bar from his hand with my teeth. You can chew. I won't take it away. I hopped out of breath and slowed down a little. Before I knew it, he was holding a piece too small for me to bite away. He took my momentary hesitation as an invitation. He pushed the last bit between my lips, brushing his fingers over my skin just a little too long. Okay. No. He stood up and dusted his hands off of his shirt. What? He stood up and dusted his hands off on his shirt. And perfect. I need at least more than half, because there's no way I'm not going to survive the next thing if my health isn't well, and I would hate dying and having to restart. The tiny meal did make me feel a little better. Thank you. Leaned forward slightly as I spoke. After all the pain yesterday, it just felt nice. You're so sweet, and you're very welcome, of course. My relief was short-lived. He was staring at me. I shifted nervously as he studied my body. I don't like this. Your stitches look pretty good. I looked down at my mangled body. My throat tightened. He's going to do more. You look scared. He shifted his weight just a bit closer. 2 nights alone, tied to a pole, in a strange man's basement. I'm sure you know that no one will find you here. So, it's just you and me. And you know, I'm going to kill you. I can't. I'm going to kill you. Do you think it'll be today? Or will I just play with you again? I squeezed my legs together. What is he going on about? Maybe I'll cut all your new stitches open. Or maybe I'll cut out one of your organs and make you eat it. Please don't. I don't want to eat my... That's disgusting. That's disgusting. I bet you look so cute with your liver in your mouth. Okay. You're going a bit pale. Okay. I have a better idea. I really didn't want to hear any more of his ideas. I almost wish he'd just stop talking and get it over with. Why don't I let you have some control, eh? You get to choose what we do next. Please, no more. What? You're scared of decisions? I 'Cause once you decided the result is your fault, right? That's not what I meant. No? Well, let's get to your decision then. I swallowed nervously. Straight cheeks. He turned to the cabinets and took his time looking at different tools. I couldn't quite see what he was doing, but I heard a click. Yes, this is good. Manual versus automatic. Ah! I heard the unmistakable whir of a drill. Okay, Alice. Here's your choice. Drill or hammer? Oh, he's getting closer! I don't like it! No, go back! Go back! There's no way. I still can't choose. Like, my head is like filling with the possibilities that I could choose. The hammer. I picked the hammer. Really? See, analog option, eh? It is a little more personal, isn't it? He played with the hammer, testing its weight in his hand. I can't. Okay. No machines, just us. As he leisurely put the drill back behind him, I wondered if I made the right choice. There is no right choice. Let me tell you, there is no right choice in this game. He could still do anything with a hammer. He could kill me. He crouched down in front of me, holding the hammer. It's more, what's the word? Close? No. Intimate. It's more intimate. I kept my mouth shut. I wasn't too thrilled with what he was saying, but I definitely preferred him talking to whatever he planned to do with that hammer. I gave your legs a lot of attention yesterday. Why don't we start with your arm today? I tried to duck my arm away from him, but as usual, the pole kept me firmly in place. I revealed a small handful of nails before positioning one over the meat of my bicep. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have too much of a vivid imagination that this is just horrible. Part of me prayed he was joking. He wouldn't. I lied to myself. Even as he raised the hammer, even as the stitches in my legs throbbed. Oh my gosh! The hammer crashed down, driving the nail into my skin and then shattering my desperate doubt. No, I can't. The shock and force of the impact was so strong and didn't make a sound. I did make a sound, but my silence wouldn't last. Another blow drove the nail deeper. This time I bit down on a scream. Couldn't stop myself from looking down at it. The nail was barely sticking out. It was almost entirely inside me. Well? He revealed another nail. I groaned in protest, unable to form my thoughts into words. He aimed it beside the first one, positioned the hammer. How do you feel? Oh! The punching force and pain shook my body like a wave. He moved with perfect sureness and precision, like a well-oiled machine. Do you regret picking the hammer? My thought became a scream as another ruthless blow drove the nail deep into my arm. He laughed. He seemed to enjoy my inability to talk. I slumped against the pole as pain kept washing over me. Some tiny part of me was relieved. I didn't want to answer him anyway. His hand kept producing nails and his hammer kept driving them in again and again until he took one last nail from his palm. Except it wasn't a nail. Oh no. What is it? What is it? Looks like I made a mistake. He held it up to me. A screw. A thick metal screw. He held the screw's point up to my arm. Then he dragged it over my skin in slow, lazy circles. Even the gentle touch felt like fire on my abused arm. So, where should I put this? Why don't you shove it up your bum? He laughed in reply. I know I can count on you for a laugh. Oh, I got an idea. He lifted the screw away and placed it over my knee instead. I should make sure you can't run. Just in case. The thought made my stomach lurch. I squirmed, moving my knee away. This is horrible. Oh my gosh. I have too much of a strong imagination. Some sort of phantom pain, guys? No, I'm joking. Until he grabbed it roughly and moved his own knees to cage it in place. No! He held the screw over my kneecap like a nail and readied the hammer. Stop, don't. What do you mean? Stop looking. I quickly shut my eyes. I couldn't watch anymore. My body was trembling. I heard him breathing and a quiet chuckle. I cowered, waiting for the hammer to fall. I could hear his grip on the hammer shift. What is he waiting for? I couldn't stand. Oh my gosh! My scream came out like a howl at the ceiling. I didn't hear him panting or see him raise the hammer. I just felt my knee shatter under the second blow. I didn't think it would go in, but where there's a will, there's a way, right? Oh god, this is horrible. The third blow wedged the screw fully into my body. My screams and garbled protests were all blurring together. My entire leg throbbed, and my knee was already starting to swell. He finally put the hammer down and put his hands on my leg around my knee. This is horrible. This is so... I groaned as he rubbed his hands around the injury. It looks kind of funny like that. Like you have a battery terminal. His hands froze. Oh? As he stood up, I began to panic. No, wait! You already... I could hardly think. My entire body was already in so much pain. As I watched him go through the cabinets yet again, I wondered if I would even survive this. Maybe this will be what kills me. I'm dead! He returned triumphantly, holding a box of cables. This is a little experiment of mine. A car battery doesn't have enough voltage to hurt you much, normally. But I made a few changes to this one. He knelt down and tapped the screw sticking out of my knee, sending out a new shockwave of pain. Only one terminal. I looked down at myself, my bleeding broken heap of a body. We'll have to be creative. I bit down on a whimper as he shoved the clamp into my stitches from the first night and closed the teeth on my flesh. He attacked the cable to the battery while humming a sickeningly cheerful tune. I wasn't sure I couldn't take any more, but I knew by now I had no choice. He raised the other clamp and closed its jaws over the screw sticking out from between my bones. Just the change of pressure had me clenching my teeth. Are you excited? He turned a knob as he spoke. The screw began to feel hot. Oh god. He twisted the knob and the heat became a molten blade driven through the cartilage of my kneecap. I couldn't hold it anymore. I screamed as my leg began to seize. I'm dead. The fire spread and my veins filled with battery acid. My scream cut off abruptly. I couldn't move anymore. Just sat motionless as the metal lodged in my body boiled my blood. And then everything stopped. For one blissful moment, I felt absolutely nothing. No more pain, no more time, no more heartbeat. Until something punched me in the chest. Again and again. His face. He leaned back and pushed on my chest again. He freaking revived me! My mangled body sucked in a breath of air and started coughing, all without my consent. Ah, there you go. My chest, my whole body was hurting, even the light hurt. Suddenly his lips were violently crashing into mine. The mix of his overwhelming excitement and lack of air made me feel drugged. I think you really died there for a minute. Did you just kiss me? Did I imagine that? My lips were tingling. I'm so glad you came back. I know, I couldn't help it. But you just look so good. I went too far. I heard him speaking, but I wasn't really listening. Couldn't seem to put the words together. Lean you up. My head and limbs felt like they were made out of lead. Even the pain felt further away somehow. I watched him pull a nail slowly from my skin. I viewed my skin and blood clinging to the nail with all the interest of watching a bug crawl across pavement. Pulled the rest out as my head drooped to my chest, till his fingers closed over the head of the screw. I could just barely make out my knee now, and the color suggested jarring along with all the trauma. This one might hurt. I watched passionlessly, as he pulled the metal from my burnt flesh. It didn't hurt at all. That's more damage than I expected. Everything seemed further and further away. You definitely won't be walking on this anytime soon. I felt like I was under a layer of cloth, maybe sinking under water. Last thing I saw was bandages being wrapped around my leg. Pain found me in my sleep before consciousness did. I opened my eyes and drew a breath of discomfort. How long was I out for? I have to do something. I have to find some way out of here. I won't last much longer. My body wouldn't answer the desperation of my mind. I couldn't even seem to keep my head up. I sighed and surrendered to sleep. You're dead. Oh my gosh, it's Ren! It's baby girl Ren! Oh, he looks so cute. He's so cute. I literally have him beside me, the price of flesh one. The other one I do have, but he's outside drying. How brave of me, isn't it? I froze, not understanding what I was seeing for a moment. The figure in front of me was definitely not him. I couldn't sleep. I pulled my aching legs towards myself. Those ears and tail. Am I dreaming? I'm not gonna hurt you. I just wanted to take a look at you. Couldn't seem to find my voice. I could only stare at him. Me too. He's handsome. He's very handsome. After I got over most of the initial shock, I realized that he was staring at me too. I thought I was used to wearing nothing but my underwear, but I shifted my legs to try and hide my body a little. Oh, who are you? Ren. Oh, I'm Alice. I know. He talks about you a lot. Strade appeared in my mind like a lightning strike. I knew then without a doubt I was awake. 1,000 questions exploded in my head. One rose to the top and fell out of my mouth before I could organize them. Will you help me? I can't. Look, it's not that I don't want to, okay? So baby girl. So baby girl. So baby girl. No, Ren, you can't help me. You got the shot collar on you. You look so nice, though. It's okay, I forgive you. I want you to last a long time. As long as you're alive, he'll leave me. But he doesn't know I'm here. I'm not supposed to be down here. Are you like me then? He sighed. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Do you see this collar? It's a shock collar. And he always has a remote for it. If I do anything wrong, or if I step outside the house, it'll electrocute me. Took a moment to process the onslaught of a new information. So, you can't do anything. Now you're getting it. But then, why did you even... How did you end up like this? Like here? Probably a lot like you. I was at a bar and he took me home. He tied me to the pole and, okay, you don't need to say. I know what he does. Right. Well, I guess he liked me. Maybe it's my stupid ears or whatever. But one day he said he didn't want to kill me anymore. Then he put this collar on me, and here I am. AC. I try to calm the storm in my head. I didn't think he's dangerous, but I don't think he can save me either. Look, I can't help you. Much. But... He suddenly crouched down to the floor. Sometimes he takes me back down here and leaves me. So I hid these things. Stood up the grate on the drain in the middle of the floor. Then he withdrew his tiny pill bottle. Gotta save, 'cause I think I can overdose. Painkillers. I'll take a photo of this handsome man. He approached me with a pill on his finger. Then he lifted it to my mouth. I couldn't help but notice the large curved claw on his fingertip. What if he's lying? Shook my head internally. None of that matters. I leaned forward and he pushed the pill between my lips. His touch lingered for a split second longer than I expected. Or had I imagined that. It was difficult to swallow with my dry mouth, but I eventually managed. He put the bottle and grate back. If you're alone, you can get it with your feet. It's not easy, but it's not like you'll have anything else to do. And one last thing. The night footage gets deleted automatically after a couple days. He won't find out if you don't give him a reason to check. So, don't give him a reason to check. Anyway, I have to go. I pushed this too far already. Thank you, Ren. Stay alive, Alice. As long as you can. I really have to go now. He turned left, moving deftly to the stairs. I sat alone for a moment, then I pulled my hands from the loosened duct tape and rubbed my wrists. I sighed and looked around the empty basement. Is there any more substance? I checked through the mini fridge, but there was nothing. I limped over to the cabinets and pulled one under the sink tape. I suppressed the shudder at the sight of the nails and screws. Come on, nothing useful. Plastic cutlery, bottle opener, and bag of zip ties. Maybe I could actually use these. Take some ties. Might as well gather as many tools as possible. I took a few ties from the bag. Might as well rest because I'm gonna die, but snuggled back to the pole and slipped my wrist back into the loose tape. I think I've done everything I can. To bide my time and get some rest. Painkiller run gave me started to work. I relaxed as the pain of my injury slowly died down a bit. Eventually, I fell asleep. Good morning. It's time to wake up. I opened my eyes slowly, reluctantly. Even the usual rush of terror I felt as I remembered where I was seemed to be muted. The trauma of the last few days had me feeling empty and weak. You've lasted a long time. His voice cut through the fog of my thoughts. I'm very happy for this. Well, I'm glad you're having a good time. He only grinned more at the mumbled sarcastic response. But you're not looking so good. Your knee is swelling a lot. It really hurts. Is that so? It does look very sensitive. He recoiled as he approached me and crouched down. Please, don't. He ignored my protest, slid his hand over my knee. Still. The pain blossomed like a flame even though his touch... Go back! 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 You drove a screw right through it. He chuckled quietly. You did get a little wild yesterday. And then, please don't. Still. You're doing quite well. You are very, What does that mean? I don't know, but I will edit it and find out. Robust! He laughed lightly. You make me forget words. He squeezed my knee and I lurched forward in agony. I hissed in discomfort as he continued. I want to try something a bit different with you today. Don't make that face. It will be easy. But first, I need you off that pole. My heart leaped into my throat. I was gonna notice the loose tapes. The loose tape. What's hidden under me? I am not dying. I am not dying. So, back. He's gonna notice the loose tape. My mind raced as he stood up. You can be good if I untie you, right? I immediately nodded in response. Good. He stepped behind me and grabbed one of my bound arms. This tape is barely on there. I felt him pull it off my wrist. What have you been up to? I just wanted to move my arms, that's all. Is that true? Yes. It doesn't really matter anyway. He gripped my arm and pulled me upwards. I stumbled on stiff and injured legs, but he braced me against his body and held me steady. There you go. Reason with him? No. Stay still. I stood up shakily, but his arms never left my arm. He led me to what I thought was a table. I'm dead! Until I saw from this angle it was a table saw. I instinctively tried to slow down, but he pushed me along till I was standing in front of it. My now familiar sense of panic rose and closed my throat. His heavy hands pressed against my back until I was bent over the table. Do you know what this is? If I call it a hobby table, can we make crafts instead? Palm slapped the back of my head playfully. Well, it's a machine. I felt a finger touch the back of my head. I really love machines. Did I ever tell you that? The finger started drawing circles absently-minded on the back of my skull. No, you should tell me a lot more about it instead of... He chuckled, but his fingers also clasped the back of my neck. I like to pull them apart and figure them out. There's more to it than that. His wistful tone felt so out of place, pushed against a motionless saw. Machines are all made by people. For a purpose, intention. He began to stroke my head like some kind of pet. I love to look for that intention, the reason people make what they make, why they do what they do. I didn't really know what he was trying to say, but I wasn't too eager for him to stop talking. What do you feel when you look at that blade? Scared? He laughed. Well, that's normal, I guess. Not very good, though, right? Even if I wasn't about to turn it on, push you into it. Stiff in the cold, beat of sweat rolled down my back. People think machines are ugly. More ugly. Repulsive. People make the machines, but they don't want to look at them. I find that very interesting. But it does make some sense, doesn't it? Intentions can be very ugly. I am so dead. I'm so dead. A click, a high-pitched mechanical scream, and the saw came to life right in front of my face. My body moved on its own, straining against him, desperately trying to get away from the saw. His hand gripped the back of my head, pushed against the table, clinging and scraping and trying to get any kind of purchase. I yelled and begged, but my voice was lost in the noise. My weakened body, desperate, thrashing didn't seem to affect him at all. The muscles in his arm pressed my face closer and closer to the spinning blade, like a concrete wall crushing me. Is he really going to just kill me like this? I screamed and cried, but I only seemed to waste my extremely limited strength. My nose was only millimeters from the from the machine now. I couldn't spare any effort to scream anymore. Only the scream of the blade filled the air now. Still he pushed. The whirring disc seemed to practically touch me. My goodness, I locked in there for a sec. Just as my strength was giving out, his iron grip softened. I let myself fall to the table, just beside the saw. He bent over my body, pressing me into the vibrating table. I almost did it. His voice was a little hard to hear over the saw, but he spoke very close to my ear. That would have been no fun. You'd have died right there. I felt his gut bounce against me as he laughed. I didn't know if it was the blithe way he spoke about killing me, or it was the noise, but I felt lighthearted. Through the dizziness, I began to register something else. His gut wasn't the only thing rubbing against my back. A fight broke out in my head. Is this better or not? I clung to a frantic hope. Maybe he'll forget about the saw. I cried out weakly, but the sounds was drowned in the roar of the saw. Didn't waste any time warming up. He merely pulled out and slammed back in, causing my whole body to bounce on the table. The pain was intense, but my fear of the saw blade still remained at the front of my mind. One sweaty palm moved slowly down the length of my forward. His hands closed around my wrist and pushed it over to the top of the table. Forward with a new rush of panic, I saw his guiding path. My imprisoned hand was being forced closer and closer to the spinning blade. I tried to beg and scream, but it was lost in the noise. I squirmed pitifully, writhing from my depleted energy. This, he noticed, only responded with an animalistic groan and a faster pace. Terror exploded as my fingers approached the saw. Then in one motion, he pushed my hand into the saw, severing my ring and pinky fingers. The saw finally stopped, but my ears were still ringing. My fingies! I kept looking at the stumps on my hand. Is this someone else's hand? I was only vaguely aware of the motions as he dragged my limp body back into the pool. A trail of blood followed me. It's my hand. It's my hand. It's my... Dots connected, nerves fired, pain finally found its way into my brain. It took only moments to progress from warmth to excruciating torment, yet somehow I felt a strange sense of relief. Pain was familiar. It was something I understood. I didn't even scream. I didn't have it in me. "Can you hear me?" I looked up at him, the source of pain. "You look like you're in shock." Heard his words, but my mind wasn't forming a reply. My gaze dragged over his body. Medkit. That means it's over. Acid lightning shot through my arms as he picked it up and held my hand. Tears were flowing down my face. When did that start? He held the bleeding remains of my hand as if he was about to ask me to a dance. A dry husk of a laugh escaped my mouth. The image was funny. "Oh? Have I broken you?" Break. I rolled the word in my mind but couldn't find its meaning. Meanwhile, he raised my fingers to his lips. He ran his tongue over my index finger, lapping at the blood that coated it. I shivered as the jaw's pain pulsed through my arm. Even my undamaged fingers hurt. The agony spread like radiation. "Guys?" I twitched in surprise as he pulled both my remaining fingers into his mouth. The retail pain wasn't enough to distract me from the feeling of his tongue. The hot, wet muscle slipped between and around my fingers. I felt my neck heating up. The warm softness. Oh my gosh! The warm softness of his mouth was pulling me in. He'd never been anything but hard before. I couldn't make sense of it. Ah! He ran his mouth along me again, and I felt every texture in his mouth. He let my fingers and breathed hot and heavy over my hand. I am so... Okay. Yay, it stopped! I sat in stunned silence as he finally stopped. My addled mind wondered if the shameless display I just witnessed really happened. I couldn't help myself. You make me, what's the English word for verklempt? I shuddered at the feeling of his spit cooling on me, barely hearing him. Well, I'd better get you cleaned up. My rapidly weakening body wavered against the pull. But first, he absently-mindedly rubbed the fingers on his left hand slowly before continuing. I have to know more. Tell me, how does your hand feel? I could hardly understand what he was saying, let alone say anything back. I grunted softly in reply. Is that all you can manage? Come on. He squeezed my cheek as if he could force words from me like a toy. Give me more. He gripped my chin and waited for me to speak. I had nothing more to give him. I stared dully at him, ready for whatever horror awaited me next. All right. Let me finish this. He held up my hand again along with a bottle. I recognized it for a split second before the alcohol poured over my stumps. He has an obsession with alcohol bottles. He has the beer belly anyways. Searing pain became a tear in my reality, dark void that swallowed me. I gasped and coughed. Then I looked around frantically, trying to figure out where he went. I froze as I registered a strange noise. Snoring? I remember my hand. I inhaled sharply at the surge of pain as I tried to pull it in front of me. Tiny whimper escaped my lips. I'm bound to the pull again. I gingerly felt around my injured hand with a good one. With my good one. I felt cloth bandages. I pried at the stumps despite the pain. My insides seemed to flip. My fingers were missing, but it felt like they were still there. I remembered the scream of the saw and shook the thought from my mind. I need to concentrate to get my bearings. I felt the stumps more carefully. They were rounded, a suggestion of stitches closing them up, but I couldn't be sure. My attention returned to the snoring. It seemed to be coming from the door to my right. My brow furrowed in concentration. Did I pass out before? How long has it been? I felt like I could think again, but my body was a mess. I was tired too, very tired. I should have saved. I looked at the drain on the floor, stretched my foot out, and tried to push the grate off. Took several tries, but eventually I was able to push the grate aside. Tried to dip my toes inside the drain, but nothing stuck out for me to grab it. How did Ren ever get that bottle out of there? I huffed in annoyance, let myself slump forward in defeat. I didn't know what I expected to do with my arms tied like this anyway. I pushed the grate back over the top of the drain. Guess rest is my only option. I leaned back and closed my eyes. I didn't have to wait long for the void to pull me under again. I wonder what the snoring was. Good morning. Good morning, or I don't know. I struggled to open my eyes and focus on the voice dragging me out of my sleep. You're not looking so good, but that's alright. It's not alright for me, though. I'm a bit sad to say it, but I think our time together is ending. Chill traveled down my spine. Strade, hold on a second, just hold. You want to torture me, right? I can do that. I can bleed, I can scream, and whatever you want. I'll be the best guest you've ever had. Just tell me what you want and I'll... Alice, I know. You've been so good at telling me everything. It's just not enough. I need more than that. Wait, but... I loved having you here. I really did like you a lot, but... Well, I want to be honest with you. I've gotten a little bored. My mind was screaming. He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. Something inside me argued with that the suffering will end. Somehow it was nothing compared to my body and my instincts ready to fight for a survival to the bitter end. Oh, I know you're scared. I pulled at the tape around my wrist, squeezing the flesh of my mangled hand painfully. I strained and struggled. Barely well, do something fun, okay? I have a new idea and I want to try it. He brandished the same knife that I'd grown so accustomed to seeing. He stepped over me and strapped my body between his knees. You need to do your part too. I need you to try your best not to die right away, okay? He gripped my head tightly and forced it to stay still even as I tried to pull away. I struggled against his legs as he ground against my face. Stay still. He pushed the knife point to the middle of my neck. I screamed as he slid the blade into my throat. My scream became a gurgle as the blood rushed into my trachea. He pulled the knife back out and held my neck for a moment. Now I was just coughing, couldn't scream anymore. Pushed a finger into the vertical slit he just made in my neck. That's good. To my horror, he pulled my head upward, exposing my bleeding neck just as much as possible. He hastily undid his zipper as I choked on my own blood. Then he pushed the head of his against my wound. Come on. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell is this? He pushed it up against my throat, chin forced against... It works. Can't breathe at all. He kept sliding over in the back of my tongue. I feel myself getting weaker. Couldn't. It was horrible. And I didn't save. And I freaking hate that. Didn't work. Okay, load. Lots of wrenches. I dug around, nothing else. Rags, jugs of cleaners, attachment for power tools, nothing useful in here. Skip, have you learned to read my mind? I recalled as he approached me and crouched down. Stay away! He ignored my protest and slid his hand down my knees. Still, the pain blossomed like a flame, even though his touch was rather light. You're doing quite well, and you're very, robust. He laughed quite lightly. You make me forget words. He squeezed my knee, and I lurched forward in agony, hissed in discomfort as he continued. I want to try something a bit different with you today. Don't make that face, it will be easy. But first, I need you off that pool. Really? I find that difficult to believe. I was out of options. I braced myself, and my injured body couldn't move fast enough. I kicked my legs out from when I crushed to the... I groaned and slid my hands across the floor, trying to get them beneath my shoulders. A boot pushed underneath my chest and pried my body upward, flipping me over to my back. I can't let you make any moves like that, buddy. His boot returned to my chest and pushed me down. I know you're just trying to live. I get it. His weight shifted and the air was forced from my lungs, and I admire that. And I admire it. His foot lifted just enough for a bit of air to make into my body, then slammed it down. I wheezed under his boot, weakly grasping him. But you belong to me now. You need to behave. He stomped on my chest much harder than before. You understand, right? I could only writhe under him, completely unable to breathe. His foot left my chest, and the wind was still knocked out of me. He looked down at me and seemed to hesitate. I think you learned your lesson, right? I nodded with all the energy I had left. Achievement unlocked. Got away with it. Nice! He walked behind me and grabbed me under my arms. Then he pulled me into his shaking feet. My aching legs started to let air back in a frustrating trickle. As I started to breathe again, he started pushing me. He led me to what I thought was a table, and we skipped this. It's how it made me feel a bit more relaxed. I'd love to look for that intention, the reason people make what they make, why they do what they do. I didn't really know what he was trying to say, but I wasn't too eager for him to stop talking. And then, scared, he laughed. And we struggle. I wanted to answer him, wanted to make him happy with me, but I could barely move or speak. A desperate one was all I could get out. Is that all you can manage? Come on. I had no energy to do anything anymore, but I let myself relax into his touch. There wasn't a shred of fight left in me, and he knew it. All right, let's finish this. My hand hurt way too much to struggle. I leaned back and closed my eyes. Well. Oh my gosh. It says one person. Good morning. I struggled to open my eyes and focus on the voice dragging me out of my sleep. You're not looking so good. That's alright. I'm a bit sad to say it, but I think our time together is ending. Chill traveled down my spine. Strade! Hold on a second, just a second. Skip. That was it. That's all the... Well, this is it for the first gameplay of You Kill Me Every Time, the Strade. I will be doing other routes soon, and hopefully it'll be quicker, because I will binge play this game, because I need to see more Ren. That's my goal. Anyways, thanks for watching.